If I had the power to erase certain franchises from my mind so I could rewatch it, my options would be Lord of the Rings, The Boys, The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, and Dragon Ball. For those of you who don't know, Dragon Ball is one of my favorite anime and just general franchises of all time. Like many, it was the first anime I ever watched, and I loved everything about it, from the characters to the world building to the sense of adventure and the non-stop action. Some of, if not the best action you'll ever see in fiction, period. Nowadays, it's popular for this new school of anime elitists to dunk on it and call it mid and say things like Goku has no character arc, which has already been debunked, by the way. But for myself, I try to reread and rewatch the series every year. However, today, we aren't even going to be looking at Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, or even GT. Today, we will be analyzing the controversial sequel series, Dragon Ball Super. When first hearing about the new Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods movie coming out as a response to this abomination of mankind, I actually shit my pants. The way I got my Dragon Ball fix as a kid was through reading the mangas at my local library, playing the games, and watching clips of the anime on YouTube. So this would be the first time I would actually be able to watch something new that was Dragon Ball related. I watched Battle of Gods and had a great time. It hit all the usual beats that Dragon Ball did, which felt great after being starved for new content for so long. Seriously, there hadn't been any content since I was a little kid, and that was GT, and we don't talk about GT. Plus, it expanded on the lore, and all in all, it was a solid movie, and I couldn't wait for more. Which was great because a little while later, another Dragon Ball movie dubbed Resurrection F was coming to theaters as well, as Frieza being the central villain of the film. Unfortunately, unlike the last one, this film wasn't nearly as good. It was nice to see the rest of the Z Fighters shine more because it's basically become the Goku and Vegeta show, but it's not like they were fighting anyone of that importance, just a bunch of randoms. And the fights, while decent, didn't carry as much dramatic weight onto them as Battle of Gods, and I guess that's what happens when your main villain cucks down to the previous antagonist, and overall, the product felt more slow and kind of boring if I'm honest. And I don't think this movie was horrendous by any means, but it was definitely a bad Dragon Ball movie. It truly was made to sell merchandise, which I guess you could argue is just Dragon Ball in general. However, one great thing came out of this, and that was the announcement of a brand new Dragon Ball anime series, which got me mad hyped. Look, you know it, I know it, but the beginning of Super was a rough start. Like, really, really rough. We all know about how bad the animation was, so bad, and the fight scenes weren't nearly as good, especially Super's version of Goku vs. Frieza. There wasn't any weight to it, nor did we even care, as we had already seen these stories as they were done in the previous films. Those movies and the actual Super anime are different canons, technically speaking, and while it was cool to see the slice of life moments for these characters and the power scale and growth so people can finally stop saying Goku is only planet level, come on guys, it's 2022, overall, it just felt uninspired until... Kaioken! While the stakes not being as high as, say, the Tournament of Power, this first tournament arc finally felt like somewhat of a return to Dragon Ball. The Kaioken is one of my favorite techniques in this series, so to see it make its Super debut was like a childhood dream after it being gone so long. Another level was hit with the Goku Black arc opening episode, where it showed some of the most visually stunning animations and directing of Super so far. Overall, the episode was fantastic, and the stakes finally felt high. And yeah, later on the Black arc got kinda messy and had one of the worst endings I've ever seen in the history of Dragon Ball, but Black was a cool villain with a motive we hadn't seen in Dragon Ball before, plus the new forms, old characters coming back, and Vegeta making his Super debut was pretty insane. And overall, the arc started strong, became somewhat weak, got good again, then crashed and burned. However, an arc would soon forever change the trajectory of Super and the entire series as a whole, and debut my personal favorite concept in all of Dragon Ball. Even though I said that the previous tournament arc felt like a return to that classic Z feel, this arc felt like a return to Dragon Ball in full, with old characters returning and given the spotlight they deserve, a narrative that seemed to be relevant to Z's ending, and ultra f***ing instinct. For anyone that says Dragon Ball isn't relevant anymore, or that Red Rock has surpassed any iconic moment from Dragon Ball, please go jump in the deepest ocean you can. I want you to build a time machine and go back to 2017, when that episode dropped, and the last 2 episodes of Super as well. Anyway, like I said before, Ultra Instinct is my favorite concept in Dragon Ball. It's not just about power, but mastery over oneself, but to more of a degree than something like Super Saiyan Grade 4, or even Roshi and Popo's training from OG Dragon Ball. The form looks cool and the memes are iconic. Overall, it's by far the best transformation/technique Super has ever had to offer so far. With the entire multiverse under threat of destruction and Jiren's ever-dominant status over the fighters, the stakes were truly at its highest, and it was wild once Goku finally got the drop on Jiren, as it truly felt like he was this unstoppable fighter no mortal could best. Frieza was also peaking this arc, and the finale is probably the best episode of Super, at least so far. All in all, unlike the Black arc, the Super anime as a whole started off kind of weak and ended very strong. This next segment won't be as long, but since this is a Super retrospective, I want to cover Dragon Ball Super Broly as well. And Broly is one of the most popular characters in all of Dragon Ball, period. And when I heard he was making his canon debut in the new Super movie, I actually couldn't believe it. None of us did. Dragon Ball trended worldwide, and the hype grew, and with more and more trailers coming out, it grew even further until finally, the hype reached a boiling point, and I planned on seeing it with my friend when it came out. And the night we were supposed to see it, I got wasted out of my mind and ended up falling asleep after a party. Sorry about that, homie. Anyway, I did end up seeing it, and what else can I say that hasn't been said? It is the best Dragon Ball movie I've ever seen. It does have the best animation of any anime movie, and the best animated action in just about any movie, period. Any way you look at this movie is a Dragon Ball masterpiece, with an engaging story, active and compelling characters, and a bone-chilling spectacle. With all that being said, it's time to cover my last segment of this video, and talk about the highly controversial Dragon Ball Super manga. The manga was originally promotional material for the anime, with Toyotaro, the creator of Dragon Ball AF, as its head artist and writer, also alongside Akira Toriyama. I'm mainly going to be focusing on the last 2 arcs, that being the Granola and Moro arc, as you guys already know the gist. However, a few things to mention are the changes the manga makes, such as instead of Goku using Kaioken against hit, like in the anime, in the manga, he just reverts back to Super Saiyan God, as Super Saiyan Blue wastes energy. I do think that was kinda lame, as when you want to bring back an iconic technique into the manga and have your characters grow even more powerful. There's also the infamous tracing scandals, and yeah, it is pretty clear that Toyotaro did use to trace a lot more, but I do think that sometimes the fans are looking way too much into it. And I think by now he's proven himself to be a very talented artist from what we've seen from the Moro arc and the Granola arc. I did feel like the Black arc was slightly improved in the manga, but the Tournament of Power was absolute dog shit compared to the anime. And all in all, there was nothing too special about the manga up until the Moro arc released. A fully original manga first story. We were all a bit worried, and some even labeled the arc as being bad before it even had a chance to finish. But once we got into the later chapters of the arc and into the ending, I think it's safe to say that the Moro arc is the best arc of the manga so far. What made it so good was the villain, Moro. While not having the most interesting or original personality I've ever seen in Dragon Ball, he had the most interesting and original set of powers since Majin Buu. He wasn't just a superpowered fighter, he had an array of techniques that required our protagonist to change mentally as much as physically. Vegeta swearing to protect the Namekians and going off to Yardrat to train, and Goku's internal struggle to master Ultra Instinct all made for great storytelling as well. As for once, Goku didn't have all the answers, and Meares had to guide him on his journey. Meares was also a fantastic written character. All in all, I love this arc, and I can't wait for it to get animated. The Granola arc, however, yeah, the manga dropped the ball pretty hard with that one. This arc started off very strong at least, and Granola might have my favorite design in all of Dragon Ball history. I mean, just look at the drip. But unfortunately, this arc felt very stagnant, with the majority of the entire story taking place in one location, the main character of the arc getting shelved in favor of some of the most boring and uninspired Dragon Ball filler antagonists I've ever seen. Yes, I hate the heaters, come at me. And an assload of new transformations that don't even matter anymore, as Frieza came back and one-shot all of them with his new transformation, Black Frieza, so those are now outdated. I think overall, Toyotaro and Toriyama knew that this arc was lacking because they used their Frieza get-out-of-jail-free card. Anytime he's in the story, it gets vastly more interesting, but at this point, how many times can you use the same villain? You have to think that this is the last time we're going to see Frieza, in the next arc or something like that. I just don't know anymore. The freshness that the Moro arc seemed to have has faded away as quickly as it came, and it's just as hard to care. Obviously, I love Dragon Ball, and will always love it. That will never change. But I hope something big happens, something new, and maybe take the shine off of Goku and Vegeta for once. Well, that's the end of the video. And oh wait, that's right, I forgot.
Hey guys, Brooks or Ewald88 here. I'm the friend that got ditched at 1 o'clock in the morning when we were supposed to go see Dragon Ball Super Broly in the movie theaters in Times Square. But enough about that. I'm taking over the video today, and today we are going to be talking about Dragon Ball Super Superhero, the latest film released in the Dragon Ball franchise, and the latest animated Dragon Ball content since Dragon Ball Super Broly back in 2019. That's if we are not counting Dragon Ball Heroes. Alright, so a lot of people are talking about the art style of this movie, the animation. Why does it look like this? Why is it the sort of more CGI effect? And apparently that they wanted to try something different with this movie. And it actually came out pretty well in terms of its relativity to the more superhero comic book-esque theme that they had for the movie. The only character it really didn't work out for was Whis. Whis kind of looked kind of funky with this art style, so keep an eye out for that when you watch the movie, because it does look kind of funny. Another thing to point out about the art style is Piccolo. You'll notice that Piccolo looks a little different in this movie, and that is because in the anime, Piccolo usually has pink or purple on his arms, but in this movie it's yellow, which apparently is what Akira Toriyama originally wanted for Piccolo's design, and that is what Piccolo looks like in the manga. It might not be something that you notice, but it also might be something that you notice. We also learned in that interview that Piccolo is actually Akira Toriyama's favorite character, and that this movie was intended to be a Piccolo movie, but Toei Animation basically told Akira Toriyama, the fans want Gohan, let's have a Gohan movie. So Akira Toriyama put Gohan in the movie as sort of the main figure, but when you watch the movie, you'll see that Piccolo probably gets the most screen time. So it is very much a Piccolo movie. If you are a Piccolo fan, this movie is for you. If we're looking compared to the other Dragon Ball films, I know a lot of people were concerned that it was going to be a Bio Broly type of movie, and I'm going to say right here that it is not anything like Bio Broly, so there's nothing to worry about. So it is nothing like Bio Broly. I wasn't a big Bio Broly fan. I don't know who was, but it was not very similar to Bio Broly. So there, you've got that going. Okay, so if you have not seen this film yet, I suggest you go out and see it the way the Dragon Ball films were meant to be seen, in theaters with other Dragon Ball fans, where everyone's cheering and clapping and laughing together. So I definitely suggest you go and see it. I watched it in IMAX. This film was made perfectly for IMAX. If you have that option, I would definitely go see it in IMAX. This film is chock full of throwbacks and nostalgia of things from Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Super, and it's got all sorts of new things as well. So you definitely owe it to yourself as a Dragon Ball fan to go out and see this movie while it is in theaters, and I hope you enjoy Dragon Ball Super Superhero.
Okay. Thanks, Brooks. Came out of nowhere. Well, that's the end of the video. Like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out, everyone.